In this video, I have one goal: create a children's book without writing a single word on the page or drawing a single picture. ChatGPT will generate a cohesive story for me. Then, it will fill in the details, writing the entire story one page at a time. In the same instance, ChatGPT will be describing each illustration on each page, and I will have it turn those descriptions into perfect Midjourney commands that paint me a beautiful book. If you don't know, my name is Glibetry, and this channel is all about exploring the landscape of AI experiences. I do my best to push these tools to their absolute limits, so if that's something you're interested in, hey, just saying, the subscribe button is right there. Anyhow, I have some prompts pre-written so I can explain to you what's going on instead of spending this whole video typing. So what I'm asking you to do here is, please write a 12-part outline for a children's book about George Washington crossing the Delaware River. This is the key to getting ChatGPT to take on larger projects. Normally, ChatGPT's context is limited to 4,096 tokens. This limits both what ChatGPT will remember from the conversation, but it also limits how much the AI will even generate. You might think those limits would make it impossible to generate an entire book. Whether you want ChatGPT to write a children's book like this one, or you're trying to write an entire novel, managing the context and memory of the AI will be very important. That's why I had ChatGPT begin by generating an outline for the book. This outline serves as a framework that you can reprompt ChatGPT with so that it stays on topic. I wanted my outline to be based on the parts of a hero's journey so that the story would have a clear beginning, middle, and end. Of course, I need to have a plan. This is the story I want to write. Now, try to simultaneously reference real historical context while also making it a cute, fun story fit for first graders. The story should have a compelling moral and help the kids learn history. It should also loosely follow the hero's journey. And now you'll see what it's actually doing for me during that whole time I was reading it. It's actually creating that outline. Next, I thought about what I wanted generated from each piece of the outline. For me, it was several pages per outline part, with each page consisting of an illustration and text. However, it could be whatever you need, whether it's the description of a character, a scene, or even dialogue. Once it was clear to me what I needed from ChatGPT, I wrote a prompt that clearly explained what I wanted, with as much detail as possible. It's creating my introduction. The other thing I asked for it was the illustration of what's on this page, which, as you can imagine, will be useful later, and then what is the text on this page as we actually generate the story. And so now, ChatGPT is writing a book. It's in a format that's going to be easy for us to work with, and it's following exactly what I asked for. Remember, I asked for page 1, page 1.1, 1.2, and then 2.1, 2.2. And look, that's exactly what it's doing. We'll speed up for just a moment while this generates. It's important to be specific, as this will help ChatGPT understand exactly what you're looking for. After ChatGPT generates the text or illustration, it's important to evaluate it for quality. Check for coherence, accuracy, and relevance to the overall narrative of the project. If the output is not what you were expecting, don't panic. Instead, just try rephrasing the prompt or providing more specific details or examples to help guide the AI's output. It might take some trial and error to get the results you're looking for. For me, it absolutely did, and I probably should have done more of this. But once you're happy with the results from your prompt, you can move on to the next piece of the outline. We are going to actually start with 3 and 4 and actually type out kind of the next thing we're going to do. So for this part of the outline, create this, meeting the mentor and crossing the first threshold. So I'm going to say create page 3.1, 3.2, 3.3, 4.1, and 4.2. So crossing the threshold is a little quicker, so it's only 2 pages long, but meeting the mentor is 3 pages long. And we click generate on this, and it's actually going to follow this format that it's been doing. It's going to keep doing the illustration, it's going to keep doing the text, and it's going to write the story based on that format. It's important to leave the previous output in context so that ChatGPT understands the narrative flow of the story. You will repeat this process until you've worked through the entire outline. When you've completed everything you need from each part of the outline, you can use that new text for future generations. In my case, the text for my book is done, but I still need the descriptions of the illustrations so that I can generate Midjourney commands. These commands, of course, will then be used to create all of the illustrations for my book. To do this, I'll move on to what I'm calling second-order generations, and that just means that I'll prompt ChatGPT to generate illustration text, and then use that illustration text to generate AI art commands. This will ensure that the illustrations I generate match the descriptions ChatGPT gave me. Best way to do that, I'm actually going to duplicate my tab. So I have another ChatGPT window that I can bounce back and forth between. And on this tab, I'm going to go back to my adventure, go up to the top, and we're going to generate commands this way. So the first illustration was written here. I would like a command for each of the 5 illustrations described below. I enter that in and then paste my illustrations one at a time. So let's go in, illustration 2, illustration 3, illustration 4, and illustration 5. If your project is big enough, you might actually have third and fourth order generations. You could start with the outline of chapters and then turn that into an outline of plot points, into an outline of pages, and then each page you could have one generation for as the fourth order and generate your entire full-length novel one page at a time. But yeah, once I have all my AI art commands, all I need to do is plug them into Midjourney, and I have everything I need to put my book together. And that's it. In total, it took me 2 hours to convince ChatGPT to write this entire book and generate all the commands. It was definitely faster than if a human had to put all this info together, and I will say it took way longer than that to edit this video. But to recap, I asked ChatGPT to write a 12-part outline, then I fed it back the parts of that outline and asked it to generate pairs of text and illustrations. These pairs each represent one page. Next, I fed the illustration half back to ChatGPT with my prompt from this video, and it turned the descriptions into Midjourney commands. With a little bit of Control-C, Control-V magic, Midjourney started generating the actual images, and voila, ChatGPT wrote an entire book. All I had to do was explain what I wanted and then keep it on track. Large language models are not just a tool to write an email. They are extremely powerful pieces of software, and I promise with a little bit of creativity, you can do amazing things with them. Before I let you go, it irks me when people only show the results of an AI project for a matter of seconds. Results looking good at a glance is the biggest strength of AI. So what really should be done is a proper review and evaluation of the result, so you all can judge if it really did a good job. Next week, I'll post a video with exactly that, including a dramatic reading of this entire book, complete with the illustrations from every page. You can click to watch it here, unless it's not out yet, in which case, I guess you'll have to click the notification bell to make sure you don't miss it. Hey, I don't make the rules.